Hi! This is my review featuring the Wandering Monsters Waterways deck and booklet. This is a collection of encounter tables that you can use with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but it also works with other editions of Dungeons & Dragons. It also works with many retro clones, pseudo clones, many D20 based systems, and with other game systems as well. You will only need to tweak or modify some of the results or adapt them to the monsters and beasts of a particular system. In this case, this deck features encounters that happen near bodies of water, like for example rivers, lakes, pools, the sea, sewers. Any of those places serves as a good excuse to use all of these different monsters, creatures, non-player characters that you will encounter as generated results from these cards or tables, depending on how you obtain the document, because like I said, you can obtain this as a physical deck of cards or as a booklet in which you roll dice and you go to the entries determined by the result. You can obtain this deck of cards or booklet in the Nord Games website or in Drive-Thru RPG. However, I recommend that you check out the Nord Games website first, because you have different formats there to obtain this product, and you obtain Nord points with your purchase to use in future purchases. As additional information, the CEO of Nord Games has requested that I show you complete pages, that is complete tables, so that you can use in your adventures and campaigns. This review will contain those sample pages, and at the end of this review, I am also going to include sample pages for the other decks that I have already reviewed. If you haven't seen my reviews of the other Wandering Monsters decks, please check out the playlist in the description below. I am also going to add my Objects of Intrigues reviews there as soon as they are ready. Now let's talk about the quality of the booklet, because that's what I'm going to be reviewing. Now let's talk about the quality of the booklet, which is the format that I am going to be reviewing. Everything is well written, explained, and organized. The cover looks really good with that Hydra. You really don't want to get too close to that creature. The teeth look so sharp, and it's probably poisonous as well. So it's a really intimidating encounter, just a glimpse of what you can obtain in the results using these tables. The graphic design, like the other decks, is great. Looks like a sort of magical book or scroll of sorts. The font is easy on the eyes. And it's great that they include the number of the page where you can find the entries for the different creatures using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition monster manual. Now let's talk about the contents. First, you have a brief introduction, the instructions on how to use these tables. You just roll your dice and you click on the result, because this document is fully hyperlinked and it will take you to the particular encounter determined by your D100. These encounter entries contain flavor text to further enhance the fantasy feel, to serve as inspiration for your own adventures, encounters, the different plot twists, and each entry also serves as a sub-table to determine the number of creatures and the challenge rating, but you can pick and choose whatever you like of these results. If you want a more balanced approach, you can select the challenge rating based on the level of the party of adventurers, and if you want to go old school, getting some results that are too powerful or perhaps too weak for the party of adventurers, you can also do that as well. Now let's talk about some of the results that you can obtain with these tables. Maybe you obtain the result of Embattled Merfolk. Singing a hauntingly beautiful battle hymn, the merfolk surge from the depths. So maybe you encounter 8 merfolk and a merrow, or perhaps even 24 merfolk and 3 merrows. Maybe you obtain the result of Feeding Frenzy. A knife-sharp fin cuts through the surface at alarming speed. Maybe you encounter a group of sharks, killer whales, or even giant sharks. Perhaps it resulted in the entry of the Blue Dragon. Sparks dance over the water, heralding a storm to come. So you could encounter a blue dragon wormling, perhaps a young blue dragon, or even an ancient blue dragon. Another result could be Shipwreck and Shadow. The ship lists slightly, floating aimless and abandoned. One sail snaps in the breeze over the empty, shadowy deck. So you could encounter so many shadows here, perhaps 8 or 12 or even 20 shadows. That would be quite worrisome. Then you can get the result of Castaways. The haggard and ragged figures drift in their lifeboat, wishing they were anyone else. So maybe you think that these are just some unfortunate people that perhaps suffered some sort of shipwreck, some sort of accident, but these are actually an entire crew of doppelgangers. Maybe you obtain the entry of skeleton crew. The sails are ragged, the timbers are rotted, but the dead still man their posts. So an entire skeleton crew, led by specters and wraiths, you cannot get more iconic than that. Perhaps you obtain the result of treasure ship. The ship limps on, bearing the scars of recent attack, but the evident riches on board are safe, for now. So maybe there are many commoners and nobles, veterans and knights aboard this ship. Maybe they can serve as a source of information, maybe you can trade with them, perhaps they are potential allies, or maybe you are a pirate and you are planning to attack them. And these are just some of the results that you can obtain with these tables. There are many more. All of them feature encounters with beasts that live underwater or near water. There are also plenty of undead. As you know, the sea sometimes ends up killing many crews, many unfortunate people that went too far into the sea or perhaps were dragged from the shore by some powerful waves or by something else, some nasty creature from the depths. So what do I think of this Wandering Monsters Waterways deck or booklet? This is probably my favorite one, because there is so much variety to the encounters. They could have easily just placed a bunch of aquatic creatures and monsters to fill these entries, but they have so many encounters. There's so much when it comes to fuel for encounters because of the different undead results that you can obtain. There are different types of undead crews just waiting for you to step on board their ship. You also have results covering living crewmates. That is, maybe you encounter a ship or a boat with potential allies or enemies you never know. You also have different aquatic beings, like I told you, the merfolk, different predators from the sea. Just to give you an idea of the things you can find here, there are some entries such as aquatic bully, longship, tail no tails, sea breeze, orcish slave ship, drowned spirit, pond scum, flotsam. And with the complete sample tables in this review, you just need to take a screen capture or screenshot and you can start using these encounters right away when the party of adventurers are moving through those waterway related areas. And you can certainly use these Wandering Monsters encounters with your solo and co-op games alongside the results that you obtain using your Game Master emulator or oracles and additional tables. So I highly recommend that you get the Wandering Monster Waterways deck or booklet. If you want an efficient and quick to use tool on the table, get it as a deck of cards. If you prefer to roll more dice, and use this booklet as a reference as you are building different encounters, coming up with some ideas for your future campaigns, then get it as a booklet instead. And stay after the end of this review so that you can obtain these sample pages for the other decks and booklets. Well, thanks for watching this review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.